the space station Asterion. 9 floated like a silver coin in the dark ocean of space. It was one of the busiest trade hubs in the outer systems. Cargo haulers, smugglers, diplomats, explorers, and creatures from dozens of alien civilizations passed through its massive docking rings every day. And in the lowest commercial deck, beneath the luxury embassies and glittering corporate offices, there was a small restaurant called the Rusted Comet. It wasn't much. Old metal walls, flickering lights, tables that had seen too many spills and arguments. But the food was good, and the prices were fair. That was why people came, and why Eli Mercer still had a job there. Eli was human, 32 years old, with tired eyes and a calm voice that had learned how to deal with impatient spacers. Working at the Rusted Comet wasn't glamorous, but it paid enough to survive on the station. Most days were the same. Take orders, serve drinks, break up arguments between species that didn't understand each other's body language. But one night changed everything, because that was the night she walked in. The restaurant quieted the moment the door opened, not because she was loud, because she was impossible to ignore. She was tall, easily 2 meters, with smooth silver skin that reflected the dim lights like polished metal. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, and her long cloak shimmered with threads of light that shifted like stars. Even the regulars stopped talking. Everyone on Asterion 9 knew who she was. Lady Saralith Vera, the richest alien on the station. Some said she owned entire asteroid belts. Others claimed she controlled trade routes across 3 star systems. No one knew the truth, but everyone knew one thing. She was powerful, and very few people ever saw her in places like this. Eli glanced at the manager, who looked like he might faint. "Just serve her," the manager whispered. So Eli grabbed a menu and walked over. "Welcome to the Rusted Comet," he said calmly. "Can I get you something to drink?" Saralith studied him. Not the room. Not the menu. Him. Her glowing eyes narrowed slightly. "You're human," she said softly. "Last I checked." A faint smile touched her lips. "Interesting." She sat down gracefully. "Bring me whatever dish your people consider comfort food." Eli blinked. "That's a wide category." "Then surprise me." He shrugged. "All right." A few minutes later, Eli returned with a bowl of spice station noodles and a glass of mineral water. Saralith tasted the noodles carefully. Then again. Then again. Finally she nodded. "This is unexpectedly good." Eli grinned. Chef's pride and joy. She finished the entire bowl in silence. When Eli brought the bill, he placed the data pad on the table. She looked at it briefly, then transferred credits. Eli checked the number and almost dropped the pad. The tip was 10,000 credits. The meal had cost 20. He looked up, stunned. "You might have misclicked." "No." Her glowing eyes met his again. "It is correct. That's a lot." "To you." She stood. "But not to me." Then she leaned slightly closer. "And the tip is not the real gift." Eli frowned. "What do you mean?" She slid a small black data chip across the table. "Keep this safe." "What is it?" "A secret." Eli stared at it. "Why give it to me?" Her smile returned. "Because you're the only person here who didn't stare at my wealth." Then she walked out, leaving Eli holding the chip. At first, he assumed it was some kind of joke. Maybe encrypted financial data, or a contact code. But curiosity won. After closing, Eli plugged the chip into his personal terminal in his small station apartment. The screen flickered, then displayed a map. A star map, but not one from the public networks. This one showed uncharted systems far beyond known trade routes. Coordinates blinked in red, and beneath them was a message. "To the one who opens this, You now possess the location of the most valuable discovery in modern history. Eli frowned. The message continued. An untouched planet rich in rare elements, breathable atmosphere, and habitable ecosystems. His heart started pounding. A habitable world was worth trillions. Then the final line appeared. If you are seeing this, it means I chose you. Eli leaned back slowly. Okay, he whispered. Either this is the greatest prank ever, or I'm in serious trouble. He found out which one the next day, because 3 men in armored corporate uniforms showed up at the restaurant. They weren't there to eat. They were there for him. Eli noticed them immediately. Hard to miss. Corporate security types had a certain look. Cold. Efficient. Dangerous. One stepped forward. We're looking for Eli Mercer. Eli raised a hand slowly. That's me. The man smiled thinly. Come with us. Why? You were in contact with Lady Saralith last night. Eli's stomach tightened.
Yeah.
I served her noodles. That's not what we're interested in. The man leaned closer. What did she give you? Eli shrugged. A big tip. The man's smile disappeared. You're lying. Suddenly, the restaurant felt very small. Eli realized something important. The chip in his pocket was worth more than this entire station. And these men knew it. That night, Eli didn't go home. He took a long route through maintenance corridors and cargo elevators. Asterion 9 was huge. If you knew the back passages, you could disappear. But someone else found him first. He stepped into an empty observation deck and froze. Saralith was standing by the window, watching the stars. You handled them well, she said calmly. Eli stared. You knew they'd come. Yes. And you still gave me that thing? Yes. He walked closer. You want to explain why? She turned slowly. Because the corporations hunting that world would strip it bare within a year. And you trust a random waiter instead? You are not random. She tilted her head slightly. You are human. That's not a qualification. In this case, it is. Eli crossed his arms. Try me. She gestured to the stars. Humans are new to the galactic stage.
Yeah.
But you possess something rare. And what's that? She smiled faintly. You still believe in building things instead of exploiting them. Eli looked at the map again on his wrist terminal. You're saying that planet could be a new world? Yes. A colony? Yes. And you want me to claim it? She nodded. Because whoever registers the discovery owns its rights. Eli laughed nervously. I'm a waiter. Tonight. Her glowing eyes softened. But tomorrow, she tapped the data chip. You could become the founder of a new civilization. Of course, it wasn't that simple. The corporations were hunting the coordinates. Smugglers wanted them. Even certain governments would kill for that map. Eli spent the next few days dodging surveillance while Saralith secretly helped him. She arranged a small ship, provided forged travel permissions, and taught him something unexpected: how to survive among powerful people. One evening in the observation deck, Eli asked the question that had been bothering him. Why not claim the planet yourself? Saralith looked away. My people already control too much. That doesn't answer the question. She hesitated, then said quietly, because power means knowing when not to take something. Eli studied her. You're not what people say you are. She chuckled softly. No one ever is. The escape from Asterion 9 happened during a solar cargo convoy. Dozens of ships launching at once. Perfect cover. Eli sat in the pilot seat of the small exploration vessel Saralith had given him. His hands trembled slightly. You sure this thing flies? He asked. Saralith stood behind him. Probably. That's not comforting. She leaned closer. Trust me. The docking clamps released. The ship drifted into the river of departing freighters. And just like that, they were gone. Weeks later, they arrived at the coordinates. The planet appeared slowly through the cockpit glass. Blue oceans, green continents, white cloud systems swirling peacefully. Eli stared in silence. It's real. Sarilith nodded. Yes. No corporate cities.
No.
No mining rigs. Not yet. Eli exhaled slowly. A whole world. He turned to her. So what happens now? She smiled. Now you decide what kind of future it becomes. The ending. Years passed. The world was named Haven, not because it was perfect, but because it represented something rare in the galaxy. A place built carefully. Eli never became an emperor or billionaire. Instead, he became something stranger. The first governor of Haven. Scientists arrived. Farmers. Families looking for a new beginning. Rules were simple. Protect the ecosystems. Share resources fairly. No corporate monopolies. And slowly, the colony grew. One evening, years later, Eli stood on a hill overlooking the first city. Sunset painted the alien sky in deep orange and violet. Sarilith stood beside him. She still visited sometimes, though she never stayed long. You built something remarkable, she said. Eli smiled faintly. Funny.
What?
This all started because of a bowl of noodles. She laughed softly. And a generous tip. Eli looked at her. You planned this all along, didn't you? Perhaps. Why me, though? Really? Sarilith watched the city lights flicker on below. Because you were the only person on that station who treated me like a person, not a fortune. Eli chuckled. I was just doing my job. Exactly. She looked back at the stars. And sometimes, the smallest kindness changes the fate of entire worlds. A shuttle arrived in the distance. Sarilith stepped toward it. Leaving again?
Eli asked.
Yes. You'll come back, though. She smiled. Of course. Then she added one last thing. And Eli? Yeah. Keep the restaurant open. He blinked. Restaurant. She pointed toward the new city. The rusted comet, too. Eli laughed. You're serious? Completely. She boarded the shuttle. And as it lifted into the sky, Eli realized something. The richest alien on the station had once given him a tip. But it hadn't been credits. It had been a chance. A chance to prove that humanity could build something better. And looking out over the growing world of Haven, Eli knew one thing for certain. It was the best tip anyone had ever given.